The Bing Crosby Show. This is Ken Carpenter welcoming you to the Bing Crosby Show, presented by the people of General Electric. Produced and transcribed in Hollywood with John Scott Trotter and his orchestra and Bing's guests, the Four Aces. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Bing.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. I'm laughing at clouds so dark up above, 'cause the sun's in my heart and I'm ready for love. Let the stormy clouds chase everyone from the place. Come on with the rain, I've a smile on my face. I'll walk down the lane with a happy refrain, and I'm singing, singing in the rain. Why am I smiling and why do I sing? Why does December seem sunny as spring? Why do I get up each morning to start happy and head up with joy in my heart? Why is each new task a trifle to do? Because I am living a life full of you. Yes, I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. I'm laughing at clouds so dark up above. The sun's in my heart and I'm ready for love. Let the stormy clouds chase everyone from the place. Come on with the rain, I've a smile on my face. I'll walk down the lane with a happy refrain, and I'm singing, just singing in the rain.
Very good, Bing.
Well, thank you, Ken.
May I take your umbrella?
Please do. Just file it under you. Will you?
Wait a minute, Bing. You don't have to tell me what letter to file it under. I certainly know enough to file an umbrella under you.
My dear boy, I'm not questioning your astuteness. As you may excuse, I guess I gave that instruction subconsciously. Huh?
Besides, I don't see why you have to keep the umbrella in the filing cabinet anyway.
Efficiency, Ken. When I want my umbrella, I open my file drawer, I reach in under the letter U, and I grab it. No fumbling around an old umbrella stand for me, boy.
Well, if you're so efficient, I'd just like to point out that you misfiled something.
Oh, I did? Just, what did I misfile?
Well, you know those Saturday Evening Post articles on Bob Hope?
Each week I cut out each installment.
Yeah, I know, but every week you've been filing the article in the filing cabinet instead of the wastebasket.
That's not an error, Ken, incredible as it may appear, because I think Bob's Saturday Evening Post articles are high-powered literary stuff.
Well, it has been awfully warm out here this week. Do you feel all right, Bing?
Quite fit, Ken. Honestly, I've been studying Bob's writing, and I must say I think he's a combination of Louis Bromfield, George Bernard Shaw, Eugene O'Neill, the Bronte sisters, and the Ames brothers.
The Ames brothers are a singing group.
Oh, yes. Did you know, Ken, that Hope's articles have caused quite a stir in literary circles?
What?
Why, I understand some of our greatest writers and novelists are terribly jealous of Hope since he started writing.
Really?
Yes, they're seething. Really in a swivet. Ken, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if Ernest Hemingway would charter a plane in Africa and crack up in it.
Hold it. Hemingway already did that before Bob's life story started running.
I mean, Hemingway is probably so jealous he'll charter a plane and crack up again. This time on purpose.
Think it might do that?
Sure.
Well, you know, the first thing we know, Bob will be going around the country talking to women's clubs.
That might make a very nice circuit for him. A fresh route he could take. He'd love it.
I know he would. I can just picture him after some women's club meeting. Naturally, he'd be dressed in striped trousers and frock coat.
Certainly. As long as the Paramount Studio wardrobe department is open, he'll have a costume for every occasion. You don't have to worry about that. It goes for me, too, I might add. And again, I think I'd better get along here now with a song. You and I can yak it up some more a little later on, huh?
Fully.
I'm sure it will be. I note here, folks, that the next selection is quite a popular number nowadays. It's new. It's called Young at Heart. A reasonable facsimile of the following rendition is available on the Decca Records. I say this because an old aunt of mine is listening, and she always likes to know just exactly what I'm doing disc-wise.
Why don't you write her a letter?
Just file the umbrella, will you, please?
Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. For it's hard, you will find, to be narrow of mind if you're young at heart. You can go to extremes with impossible dreams. You can laugh when your dreams fall apart at the seams, and life gets more exciting with each passing day. And love is either in your heart or on the way. Don't you know that it's worth every treasure on earth to be young at heart? For as rich as you are, it's much better by far to be young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, look at all you derive out of being alive. And here is the best part: you have a head start if you are among the very young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, look at all you'll derive out of being alive. And here is the best part: you have a head start if you are among the very young at heart.
Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to welcome a singing act that has really set a record in the record business. Here, then, are Al Alberts, Dave Mahoney, Sod Vaccaro, and Lou Silvestri. Famous Decca recording stars, the Four Aces. Welcome again, fellas.
Oh, thanks very much, Bing.
Al, what do you and the Aces got up your sleeves for us this evening? What are you going to deal out here?
Well, we thought we'd like to sort of grind out the old organ grind, the swing, Bing.
Oh, I remember that. That was a big hit. You got a record out on it?
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
mention the record. Let's hustle a few platters here. Well, swing it and grind it, fellas, and I know you can do it.
Who's that coming down the street? Good old organ grinder Pete. He's the latest rhythm king with his organ grinder swing. Ooh-ah, 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 ooh-ah. Eeny, mighty mo, catch that monkey by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, mighty mo. Ooh-ah, 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 ooh-ah. Ma swings and so does Pa. Pa swings and so does Ma. Ma swings and so does Pa. Pa swings and so does Ma. Swing, 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 all right. Swing, 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 all right. Swing, 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 all right. Swing, 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 swing. Ma swings and so does Pa. Pa swings and so does Ma. You can swing it just like Pa, the organ grinder swing.
Oh, that's great, man. Really move. While you're rolling here, please don't stop now. Keep going.
Well, Bing, we thought we might like to stop right here and pick up another passenger.
Who'd you have in mind?
Well, I think a guy by the name of Bing Crosby.
Oh, that's right. Nice of you. You're real nice to spot this old freeloader and give him a boost. What'll our vehicle be tonight, Al?
Well, we kind of like to do one that we had the pleasure of writing about 2 years back, Bing. Tell me why.
Oh, yes. I'd love to barber that with you fellas.
Wonderful.
Shall we then?
Tell me why, though I try to forget, tell me why I think of you yet.
I know that I'll never be free.
What has happened to me? Tell me why. When we danced until 3, tell me why my heart couldn't see.
I never dreamed of romance.
Never gave it a chance.
When I think of how you looked that day in your gown of silk and lace, should have known the day you came my way, that this was the time and the place.
Tell me why I keep pulling my heart when I know it was love from the start.
Why don't we give it a try?
If you know, tell me why. Tell me. Tell me.
can those four aces sing?
You just can't trump them, Ken.
No, sir. You did good, too, Bing.
Well, Ken, as the Gabby Pickpocket once said, I do my best work in groups.
You really said that?
I'm very much at home singing in choirs, glee clubs, quartets, camp meetings, locker room roundelays, and jungle jump sessions.
Say, Bing, come to think of it, you were once a member of a quartet, weren't you?
True. As a youth in Spokane, I was a member of a barbershop quartet called the Hot Towel Harmony House.
The Hot Towel Harmony House.
We used to meet every Thursday night in the antiseptic barbershop.
Oh, man, it sounds very sanitary.
Oh, it was spick and span. One barber was Spick, and then there was another guy worked there called Span.
Wait a minute. Now, that explains it.
Yes,
Go on.
I guess you just thought you might like to know.
I more than appreciate the enlightenment. But, Bing, before you plunge into any more music, I'd like to get back to the literary discussion we started earlier in the show.
You mean go back to Hope?
No. But when you were talking about Bob as a literary light, you forgot to mention that you received quite an honor this week for a bit of writing yourself.
What's that?
Well, I read in the paper where Dr. Milton I. Eisenhower, director of the Freedoms Foundation, announced that you'd won the George Washington Honor Medal for your magazine article, A Way to Peace.
Ken, I didn't forget to mention it. I was hoping that you would. That's all. And I think that while we're on the subject of the Freedoms Foundation awards, we should mention that Sheldon Starkman, a 21-year-old Los Angeles boy, won the top award for his cartoon published in the Daily Bruin. Another winning cartoonist was Edmund Gale of the Los Angeles Examiner.
Well, all I can say is, for a fellow who started out as a singer in the antiseptic barbershop, you've come a long way to receive the George Washington Honor Medal.
I thank you, Kenneth. And incidentally, I'm glad you mentioned the barbershop again, because that seems to fit right in with our plans.
How so?
Well, barbershops, and particularly barbers, are identified with conversation, and that's just what we're going to continue doing right now. That was my plan.
Oh, you mean our weekly yak session concerning the American economy.
Yeah.
Giving the once-over lightly to the system we live under. Very well, sir. Just climb into the first chair, sir, and I'll whip up some lather.
I have quite a tough beard, I'm told.
Would you care for a massage?
Just shave me first, and if there's any skin left, we'll talk about rubbing it,
Tonight, we're going to talk about profits.
Profits? I thought such things as profits simply weren't discussed in polite society.
Being the term has been sort of hush-hush for too long, but that's our topic, so what are we going to do?
Well, what can we do but take the bit in our teeth and plunge ahead? En avant. Now, what about profits?
Well, as you know, they're the reward, the payment, if you will, that goes to the man who risks his own money and that of his partners in a business enterprise that succeeds.
But that brings up a further question. Now, why does the businessman need a reward? What good are profits? Can you answer that one?
Well, first, let's take the case of Sam.
Who's Sam?
Sam's the fella who started in the garage business. You remember a few months ago?
Oh, yeah, he's still replacing hubcaps, huh?
Still running his business, and he's slightly interested in profits. Well, he's got to be just to live, to buy butter and eggs and coffee.
Especially coffee.
Sam has a large investment in equipment, in lifts and spare parts and testing apparatus and so on. He's risking his hard-earned savings and those borrowed from friends on his ability to run a garage better than the next fellow. If he succeeds, he has a right to expect a profit. If he doesn't succeed, he's going to lose his shirt and his spare parts. Now it's different with Joe.
Joe? Who's Joe?
You better explain. Joe is a mechanic in Sam's garage. He works a regular number of hours and gets a steady pay envelope as long as the garage stays in business.
But Sam, well, if he doesn't make a profit, he's in trouble. Joe would have to go.
That's right. Now, don't forget, Sam has to go right on paying salaries and rent. He has to keep up a large stock of parts and replace worn-out equipment.
And he needs a good supply of clean, fresh, hygienic air for the tires.
Doesn't grow on trees.
Let's not go out on a limb now. But, Ken, putting it in other words, no man can be expected to risk his savings starting a new business or to leave his savings in an established one unless he sees the possibility of making a profit. That's his incentive.
Not only that, he has to have the opportunity to make more profit than his competitors, and in so doing, risk a bigger loss, depending on how well he pleases his customers, how friendly he runs his business.
Figures, Ken, figures. If wages vary according to the skill, care, and effort that men put into their jobs, so will profits and losses vary in proportion to the efficiency or the skill of the businessman in organizing and in directing his business.
Seems only natural. Taking a company like General Electric, for example. You'd expect a highly trained scientist to be paid more than, say, a file clerk. And GE itself to make a better profit than a less well-run enterprise.
Well, the point is that variation is actually a good thing, because if all wages were the same for every job, well, it'd be Only human to want the easiest job, the job that required the least skill, care, and effort. There'd be an overabundance of radio announcers.
They'd be like jackrabbits.
The same way if profits were always the same for every investment, it would be only human for men who work with their savings to choose the investments that involve the least risk and required the least competitive effort.
That's right. They'd take the sure thing every time. But, Bing, I think the gist of all we've said is that profit is the prize, the reward that encourages men to work and to attempt new things, better things that benefit us all. As such, profits are the greatest device society has yet invented to ensure progress.
I must say, Ken, you just very well. John Scott, shall we waltz?
We were waltzing together to a dreamy melody when they called out, change partner, and you waltzed away from me. Now my arms feel so empty as I gaze around the floor. And I'll keep on changing partners till I hold you once more. Though we danced for one moment, and too soon we had to part. In that wonderful moment, something happened to my heart. So I'll keep changing partners till you're in my arms and then, oh my darling, I will never change partners again. Too soon we had to part. In that wonderful moment, something happened to my heart. So I'll keep changing partners till you're in my arms and then, oh my darling, I will never change partners again. Oh, my darling, I will never change partners
Thank you very much. Monsieur Trotter and the orchestra are standing by now, ready as always with the stirring arrangement of a thing which John has extracted from Prokofiev's Peter and the Wolf. This is called the Triumphal March. Thank you, John and Min. Thank you very much. That was certainly a thrilling delivery. Beautifully played. I heard a record of King Cole's the other day. I listen a lot to King Cole. He's one of my favorite singers, and this was a new song with a melody which was imported from Europe and has an English lyric set to it. Sort of reminds you of an old Stephen Foster song. It's called Answer Me, My Love.
Answer me, oh my love, just what sin have I been guilty of? Tell me how I came to lose your love. Please answer me, my love. You were mine yesterday. I believed that love was here to stay. Won't you tell me where I've gone astray? Please answer me, my love. If you're happier without me, I'll try not to care. But if you still think about me, please listen to my prayer. You must know I've been true. Won't you say that we can start anew? In my sorrow now I turn to you. Please answer me, my love.
Well, that about gets it for tonight. I'll be hoping to see you all again next week. Same time, same place. Until then, good night, and thanks very much.
This program was produced and transcribed in Hollywood by Bill Morrow and Myrtle McKenzie. Tune in next week and hear Bing and his guests. The Bing Crosby Show is brought to you each week by the people of General Electric, who believe there is no limit to progress when people work together.